Hi guys, another night. I didn't see anything you want to check over that I messed up last night. Got a little spot welded in there. She's flush. Oh, there it is. That's pretty flush right there. I didn't quite get over enough. Just 1/4 inch. Which my welds ain't worth a shit right there, so that shouldn't be hard to take apart. Plus, I figured out that ridge I thought this sat into, it sits right on top of it. Which makes sense, because there's where all your spot welds are supposed to be. Which, if that goes over 1/4 inch, that should bring that over. But, speaking of which, I forgot to drill my spot weld holes out. So I'll get that cut, see if this will drop down a little bit. Drill my holes out, and then get something bigger in here, because it sits about a 1/2 inch in. I don't know if they, when they bent that tunnel, if they got her off just by a little bit. I don't think the body's tweaked. Door shot's pretty good. The gaps have never been good on this door, and I'm taking it because it was hit. So, let me get that separated, get them holes drilled out, and we'll go from there. Oh, thanks for coming back. Well, it's 9 degrees outside. The old heaters are full blast. I got a fresh can of propane in the van and a fresh can of diesel in the van. I don't know, I started with the remote and it went back to 1 through 10. I don't know what's going on with that thing. Sometimes you start with the remote, it goes back to Fahrenheit, and sometimes you start with the remote and it goes to 1 to 10. Anyways, it's still working. It hasn't acted up. So, it didn't take me much to break that. I barely had that on there. Well, it was on good enough to where the jacks were out of it and it held it, but I got that. I drilled my holes for my spot welds. I'm going to dig that side out and see why this lip, this one, sits out so far. Looking over there, it doesn't look like it's awful dirty, but it looks like this part of the tunnel is cut back farther than the original. So, if it is, I can get this thing kind of back in place, draw a line, and cut this edge off. That way, if I want to, I can run weld when I final weld it. But yeah, the plan is it was welded a little better up front. I know it's ugly, but she's holding. So, plan is to get this back up, see if I have to cut that off a little bit, get this back up, and get her welded back in. get it so the door opens and shuts okay, and then throw some weld around that front piece. And then, I don't know, measure across from that bolt hole to the seat belt bolt hole in there. Make sure it's the same as over there. And then take and weld one of those rear spot welds up. And maybe find another place on the A-pillar to weld it. And then say she's in there. And then start working on that cross member piece. Get that figured out, cut off, and in there, and yeah. Then this side should be good to go. And then start ripping that all out. Yeah. There's no save, no patch panel in that that heater tunnel either. She's pretty much toast. So, I'll get to work. Well, I can't hold it and weld it, so that's what I came up with. Oh. She's flush with that outside of that post right there. That's still flush with the outside of the post there. So, and I looked at that other side, and the hole around that pipe is not as big. That hole around the pipe over there is pretty much the size of the pipe. And that piece is actually welded to that pipe, so hey, if it was good from the factory, it's good enough for me. So, get this held on here, and then work with the jacks to where the door shuts perfect, or as good as this side ever did, and then get some more welding done on here. Oh, and that I got the spot holes done, and she's running right along the top of this ridge. So I'll do that measurement over to the seat belt hole. One of these. Make sure that's over as far as where it's supposed to be. So yeah. Get a little welding done. And then see how the door shuts. Alrighty, guys. That's as good as she ever was. She always had the gap, dent on top of the door. I'm hoping I can tweak this door around once it's all together, because it's too close in this corner. It's always had a dent up here, or always had a gap up there. But oh, that corner's welded on. I got her on jack, so that front piece, I crawled underneath it, and it looks like it's running flat to that piece I built. So I'm going to throw a couple welds on that top part, see if there's a place on the A-pillar I can get something a little better than what I got. And measure the wing back there and make sure it's right. And then pick a tack weld and yeah, it's that one with the bump out that I measure from there to that one. Same with the other side. And make sure it's in its right place. Throw a weld in one of those holes. And yeah, go from there. Alrighty guys. There ain't good lighting in here. I gotta get some good lighting. I can't see what I'm doing. I got it welded in the front in 2 spots. Another spot on the pillar. There. And 2 spot welds back there. And with no jack stands underneath it. She's holding together. The jack stands are all out. Alrighty. Starting to get someplace. Enough weld to hold it together, but when I put it on the chassis, if it's off, it's not enough that I can't cut apart and fix. Well, I got that welded in and I started working on that back brace, and Lisa came down and wanted to check her bug out. She went through all the knots in the glove box and wanted to know how big the back seat was, and crawled all over this thing and couldn't believe the sunroof was hand cranked. So yeah, the sunroof's back open. I'll shut that. So yeah. Alright. She went to get a pop, and I'll see if I can get something done. Alrighty guys. Well, Lisa went across the street, get herself a soda, and I did a little reset on my little world. Tied some stuff back, cleaned the bench off. Pretty much because she brought me a garbage bag. Anyways, I gotta try and get that in there. I gotta see what time it is, but see where I can get. Well guys, it's 10 o'clock. I was gonna come in here and start cutting and fitting that in, but I gotta go to work tomorrow. So I still gotta let the dogs out tonight and get ready for bed, so I'm gonna call it a night and see what I can get done tomorrow night. I don't know, that's not looking too bad. So, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Alrighty.